YouTube? It's your girl Suji from Any Complex.
What's up, guys? It's Josh, Kinda Easy.
Here to do my OPs.
Today we're doing overpowered anime characters of all time.
My first OP is Ginji from the Get Backers. I'm not gonna say his last name because I always screw it up. Okay? You could do your research on his last name.
It's Amano.
Okay, there you go. That's his name. He is one of the most powerful because he was in a gang and he was the leader of the gang, and they used to call him the Lightning Emperor. Like, there was a tower and he was the top of the tower, and then he came down because he wanted to start helping out the people because he saw the people around him were living in poverty. So he and his right-hand man started something called the Get Backers, which they will go to anybody, even kids, if they lost their cat, and go find them. And all they ask for in return is anything that they can give them. So if it was money, if it was like a ball, one of their favorite stuff, they didn't mind. Something to eat. Most of the time they would prefer something to eat or somewhere to sleep because they did all their stuff in like a cafe where they met clients and everything. And as they go on, you learn more and more about them and more about what they did in the past. My only thing is they cut it too short. They reached to a certain level of the tower and then they stopped and they returned. And they're like, yo, if you guys come at us again, we're gonna kick your ass. And then they stopped it. I wish they would bring it back. Bring it back, please. Bring it back. Get backers.
My most overpowered character. I know a lot of people might not agree with this, and it might shock people because not like the most powerful character we've seen in anime, but I'm gonna say this person's OP due to the circumstance or the situation. I'm gonna say Cell from Dragon Ball Z. The reason I put Cell as the most overpowered character is, well, at the time that's the strongest villain that they know. And this villain is comprised of all the Z Warriors' cells, and like he pretty much has their moves. The only thing they didn't put in the show really is like, yeah, he could. Well, actually they did put it because I know what you're thinking. Remember, your cells are in my body, so he could pretty much like predict all their moves because he knows all their skill set and things like that, right? So he has their state of mind in his being. And it's like, realistically, I mean, he wasn't that overpowered because if they just jumped him, he would have died if you actually take it in. But like, at the time, like, that's the most OP character to me during that saga. Okay, Majin Buu. Majin Buu is my number 2. Like, I feel like if there's an OP character, it has to be Majin Buu, right? Because he pretty much could absorb anybody in the series. Oh, Majin Buu is OP. I'm gonna say Majin Buu is OP because his skill set is just ridiculous. He could stretch, he's fast, he could pretty much absorb anybody, and I think that's why they left him out the Tournament of Power, because if you put Majin Buu in the Tournament of Power, one, he has healing magic, he can turn you to food, and again, he could absorb damn near anybody, and as long as he catches you off guard, like, you're done with that thing, because he can control his body. Wherever his body is, he could just control it and command it. And he's chewing gum, yo. Like, chewing gum that you can't get rid of. It's just stuck in your teeth. It's like, they should have just called him super glue, yo. Yeah, yo, Majin Buu. Majin Buu is my second OP character.
My next one is from Sword Art Online, and it's Asuna. She's a badass. She's the only one, like only girl in the whole show at the first one to actually keep up with the main character. That's why he wiped her. You know, you gotta wipe the strong ones, cause guys, you ain't strong if you don't have a good woman behind you. She's a badass because she could keep up with the main character, and on top of that, before they even met the main character, like she met the main character, she was one of the leaders. She would go into dungeons and destroy bosses by herself. She didn't even need people behind her. Like, they were just there for extra. But she is a badass. So she is my second one. She's also in their sequels and stuff like that. But she's the best, I think, in the first one. So you gotta check it out. Sword Art Online.
Since we're talking about such a diverse subject, honestly, I think you have to throw in Kenpachi Zaraki. Now, Kenpachi Zaraki comes from the anime Bleach. Bleach is an anime about soul reapers coming from the Soul Society and protecting humans from hollows. Hollows being souls that of people who have dearly departed and still have unfinished business in this world, so they're unable to let go. In other words, they have a broken heart, creating a hole in their chest, creating a hollow, a monster that is attracted to spiritual pressure and therefore feasts on humans and other creatures that have a strong spiritual pressure. In this whole world, like I said, there's 13 court guard squads and each one of them has a captain and different seats, right? Kenpachi Zaraki is a captain in the 13 court guard squads. Now, what makes him so overpowered is throughout the show you see characters progress and grow and become stronger. You learn about what's called a Shikai and a Bankai. So you have weapons called Zanpakuto that each one of them is very unique and has special abilities, right? Knowing the Zanpakuto's name, then it allows you to do Shikai, which is level like 1 if we were to put it into like Dragon Ball Z terms, which is Super Saiyan 1, I guess you would say, right? And it gives you access to certain abilities, basic abilities. And then you have what's called Bankai. And Bankai is like reserved for only lieutenants and captains. Very few people outside that group know Bankai, but Captain Zaraki knows none of them. Neither Shikai, neither a Bankai. Yet he's still able to be a captain and fight and even be stronger than some of those lieutenants. The lieutenants who do know their Shikai and Bankai. So, being OP, and not to mention the fact that all those things that I stated is before he takes off his eye patch. Now, you might be wondering, like, what's so big deal about his eye patch? Well, Captain Zaraki walks around with an eye patch that has 3 mouths on the inside of it, specially designed to absorb his spiritual pressure. What is spiritual pressure? Spiritual pressure is the energy that is output from within you, right? Kind of like when Super Saiyans go and level up, right? It's the same thing. But his spiritual pressure is so overpowering, overbearing, immense. A, he can't control it. He's somewhat akin to Broly. B, he has, like I said, just so other people can stand around him, he has this eye patch that absorbs a lot of his spiritual pressure. Because once he takes it off, his spiritual pressure goes from where he is all the way to the sky. Cannot be stopped. Number 1, overpowered anime character, Kenpachi Zaraki. My next OP character, I know a lot of people who know me are going to expect me to say Gohan.
Let's get started!
Character. However, I'm not. I'm actually going to say Captain Smoker from One Piece.
What?
Now,
really?
I'm
taking my training seriously, though.
Works for the Marine Corps. Basically, he's a captain. Becomes an admiral, by the way. And he has powers that were given to him by the Logia-type devil fruit. Now, what is a devil fruit? A devil fruit is a fruit that, when eaten, gives you magical powers, right? When I say magical, like I don't know if it scientifically changes your DNA or something, but you get supernatural powers. The main character, Luffy, eats one and becomes a gum gum guy. Basically, he's able to stretch like gum and rubber, you know? And there, within that devil fruit category, there's a certain subset of devil fruit called the Logia fruit. Now, the Logia fruits are immensely powerful and sought after. Devil fruits in general are sought after. Even though their one weakness is that you will not be able to swim ever again. The sea will hate you. You will fall in water and die one day, dragged to the bottom. You cannot swim. But beyond all of that, the Logia is a small subset of fruits that give you an increased supernatural power, right? So like I said, Luffy has the Gum Gum, right? Logias are things like fire, smoke, water, right? Things that actually change your entire physical body into something that's practically indestructible. For example, Luffy's brother ate the fire fruit, right? So now his whole body not only can control fire, his whole body is fire. So even though he doesn't look like he's fire, if you shoot him, bullets pass right through him because he turns into fire. So Captain Smoker is one of these elementals like that, right? These Logia devil fruit users. And his is smoke. So what happens with smoke, right? Like, I mean, he can suffocate you with it. He can go inside your body, I guess, if he really wanted to. He could, you know, fly super fast. He can climb buildings and stuff like that, like really quickly, because he can just take off his legs and turn them into smoke. He can appear right behind you, basically teleport, surround a battlefield in smoke, and destroy all enemies around him. The only downside to him and to all devil fruit users, once again, is the water. You know, them falling into water, they could drown, or even getting splashed with seawater hurts them. But really, the worst thing, one of the other worst things that can happen to you is a sea prism stone. If you get touched with that, that's the only way you're gonna beat Captain Smoker, and that's why he's OP.
Wow, that was a lot of anime characters.
Yeah, it was. Hopefully you learned something and enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys did as well. Don't forget to like, share.
And subscribe.
My GPs, OGs. Oh shit.
Keep naming the alphabet, please.
Okay.
O G, O P, O H, O I, O J, O L. It's OP, babe. Overpowered.
Okay.
You can just say overpowered.
Hey YouTube, it's your girl Suji from Annie Complex, ready to do my OPs. I got it this time. Over villain. My next one is from Sword Online. Isn't it Sword Online?
It's sword art.
Sword Art. That's what I said. Sword Art Online. My next one is from Sword Art Online. She is a badass. You know I have to pick a girl for my second one. Her name is
Asuna?
Asuna. It's just Asuna, right? Okay. Let me do that again.
She has a last name, but
No.
We'll
We'll stay out of the last name. I'm so hot. Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, we're recording?
Yeah.